Hi, my name is Aya. You're watching Aya Reads, and in this video, I'm going to be reading and watching Red, White, and Royal Blue. So I've never read Red, White, and Royal Blue, even though it has been on my TBR ever since it came out in 2019. I don't know why I never picked it up. I think because of the hype and also a little bit of the subject matter, because to be honest, I don't really love reading about real life politics in a fictional story, like meaning that this is actually about the president of the United States. And I already read a little bit about it. Like they actually talk about it's not like an alternative world. It's just that after Obama, Alex's mom became president as opposed to Trump becoming president. So like the whole history of it is the same as in our world, and the same goes for royalty. Royalty romances, I tend to only really love those if it's a made-up country like Genovia. And since this is about the actual royal family, I just like about the actual royal family of the UK. But I've always been intrigued because a lot of people really do seem to love it, so I never really took it off of my TBR. It's always been there. And the movie, like the trailer for it looks so adorable. Like I'm already in love with this movie even though I've not watched it yet. I love Nicolas Galitzine. I think he's adorable. So yeah, basically this movie coming out is my sole reason for wanting to read this book. So it's August 6th now, and yesterday I started, like I'm only 12 pages in. Planning on reading this today and tomorrow. I'm gonna vlog the experience, and then once the movie comes out, I'm gonna watch it as soon as I can, and I'm gonna vlog. I guess I cannot really vlog the experience, but I can definitely give you my thoughts on the movie and whether I love the movie more than I did the book and stuff like that. So I do have high hopes. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I already this is basically a romance between the president's son and the prince of the UK. Yeah, and it's basically a hate to love romance because they despise each other. Well, I mean, I think we get only Alex's point of view, which is the president's son. We only get his point of view. He despises Henry, the Prince of England, which is obviously this man looks like Harry. Like, that is just very obvious. Anyway, they hate each other. Then there's this big scandal of them fighting. So now they have to pretend that they're actually friends. So it sounds like it's going to be like a fake friendship to lovers sort of thing. It sounds really cute. It is a male-male romance. It is beloved for a reason. I hope I really like it. I do have to say some criticisms of this story is that the Prince of England is kind of like a caricature. So I don't know how I'm gonna experience that because I am European, but I'm not from the UK. So we have a royal family here in the Netherlands. And obviously I know of the royal family, like the UK royal family, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to give you all my thoughts on this book. It's probably going to be mostly spoiler free though. If I do have spoilers I really want to share, I'll put those at the end of the video. But yeah, very excited to read this. And I might be even more excited to watch the movie, honestly. Okay, I'm just over 100 pages into this book and I am really, really loving it. They just had their first kiss, which was adorable, which is in the trailer for this movie. And basically, I'm pretty, like, I don't know, from what I've read so far and from what I've seen in the trailer, it looks like the movie is being very true to this book. Like, actual lines from this book are already in the trailer, which I love. Yeah, so we find out that Henry definitely has pretty much always known that he likes guys. Alex, it seems, I don't know, it sometimes seems that I think he's always dated women. I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised that he's open to dating guys. I'm really liking this book. One thing I don't like is how long these chapters are. I don't know why. Like this whole entire almost like over 400 page book only has 15 chapters. And I love books with short chapters. They always make me so happy and they just make me fly through books faster. I do have to say the one thing that I was scared about is kind of happening, the amount of politics that's in this book. It is mainly US politics because we're following Alex, and obviously I think Casey McQuiston is American. There's that. But I know. Also, Alex is very interested in politics. So it's not just that we see the politics because his mom is president. It's also that he's very interested in politics. And yeah, so there's like real life issues in this book as well, like that he's interested in, which I guess is good because obviously those issues are important. But I like reading to escape this world, not be reminded of it. So that's sort of kind of hindering my enjoyment. Although I do have to say, not as much as I thought it would. So yeah, so I'm basically 1/4 of the way through and really enjoying my time. Also, what I really loved so far is how fast they're becoming friends. I mean, I guess they kissed already, but basically, Alex had to go to the UK to kind of okay, so kind of put you up to speed. Basically, they made this they had this scandal of them like having a fight and then basically dropping this $75,000 wedding cake, or like pound wedding cake, which would be even more expensive. And now Henry had to go to, or Alex had to go to the UK to kind of do a press tour with Henry, pretending that they actually like each other. And after that weekend, Alex gave Henry his number, telling him that it would be easier that way. And they've been texting back and forth and eventually calling each other, because Alex really doesn't have any friends except for his sister and the vice president's daughter, who's also his ex-girlfriend. So Henry, in these first 100 pages, Henry's slowly becoming his friend. And like I said, now they kissed and Henry ran off. So I'm very interested to see how that is going to turn out. Okay, so I'm just over halfway through in this book, over 200 pages. And I am really still liking it, honestly. But it's already feeling like it's too long. Like, I feel already that this book should have been around 300 pages and not 400 pages, because I told you guys at the end of the 100 page mark that they just kissed. There is a long distance thing going on. Obviously, Alex lives in the US, Henry lives in the UK, and we have gotten to know them a little bit, but I still feel it's pretty surface level for the amount of pages that we spent getting to know them. So yeah, there's just a lot of scenes of them hooking up, not graphically, which is kind of also kind of annoying me, because you guys know. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but I love detailed sex scenes in my books. I'm just a hoe. I just like that, okay? If you're not gonna make the sex scenes detailed, then don't have as many of them in there. Because then it's just like, why are you having them in there? You know, like, obviously you're not having these characters get closer to each other through sex, because we are not seeing that, you know? I don't know even if I'm explaining myself well. But yeah, like I said, overall, I'm still enjoying it. This is definitely, well, now at least it's definitely not less than a 4 stars, but I don't think this book will get a 5 star for me because it feels too long. Yeah, that is mostly what it is. Plus, I just have a feeling, like, I already know this is a secret relationship. Obviously, Henry is not supposed to be gay, I guess. So I just have a feeling that they're now in their happy phase. And there's going to be, since I still have 200 pages to read, what else is going to happen? Like, right now, they are pretty happy together. I feel like it's going to be at least 100 pages of misery, which I'm not really looking forward to that, because I don't really love the plot lines of when they're not together. Like, first of all, it is a single point of view, which would be fine, except I don't really care about the whole re-election thing about his mom. I don't care about him making Texas a blue state. Like, I don't give a fuck, okay? Like, not at all. So, like, for example, Wolf Song is one of my favorite books of all time. It's one of my favorite male love stories, but also not just that. It is my favorite love story of all time. And yeah, there is a big chunk in there of them being separated, of just heartbreak on top of heartbreak on top of heartbreak on top of heartbreak. But at least I cared about, what's his name? Oh my God, I'm saying it's my favorite book, yet I don't remember the name. Anyway, I care about the story in the meantime as well. Like, at least that's an interesting story. I'm sorry. So I don't know. I have a feeling that I am definitely going to love the movie more than the book, because the movie's only 2 hours, I think. So I feel like all the extra things in here that I don't really like maybe will be condensed there. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm just like speculating now because I'm not sure. But when I'm halfway through and the book is already starting to feel like it's too long, that I'm dreading a little bit what I'm going to read next. I do have to say, so now they have their little friend group of Henry's sister and best friend and Alex and his sister and their best friend, all 6 of them together. That I really, really love. I think that is adorable. I love how Alex, who used to not have any friends, has friends now. So that is good. Yeah, I guess, I don't know if I'll update you at the 300-page mark, because that is just going to be spoilers, like 100% spoilers probably. So I guess it's going to be my last update until I finish and give you my thoughts on the whole book. Why is speaking so hard for me all of a sudden? I don't know. So yes, I guess I'll see you then. And I am just like, by the day, I'm more excited about this movie. Like, I keep watching the trailer and just so excited about it. So I just finished Red, White, and Royal Blue. Actually, not just. I finished it a couple hours ago, and I decided, let's do this update in bed, because I wanted to have some time to think about it. Overall, I did really like it. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. The reasons for docking a star. Well, first of all, let's just talk about the positives. I do really understand why so many people love this book so much. It's very charming. I really, really loved Henry. I thought he was adorable. And I could definitely see his struggles, you know, considering everything I know about the British royal family. And I can definitely understand why this was so cathartic for people in 2019 when it was written, considering who was still president in 2019. Okay, so my reasonings for docking a star is, first of all, this was 100 pages too long. This could have, if this was around 300 pages, I think I would have loved it a little bit more. Even though I really love the email exchanges between Henry and Alex, like the whole middle section of them, like that could have been condensed. I'm not saying like remove stuff, but definitely condense a few things. And I do feel like, even though I've not watched this movie yet, I do feel like the movie's going to do a better job of that, of condensing the unnecessary things in here. And like I said at the beginning, what I thought was going to bother me definitely did, and it was the whole politics thing. Okay, let's get a little personal here. Around 2016 and a couple of years after that, I was heavily invested in US politics. Don't ask me why. I'm not from the US. I will never move there in my life, but I just felt like whatever happened in the US had so many ramifications for the rest of the world. Yeah, I just got really into, politics and was listening to a lot of news about politics and stuff like that. And that just made me an unhappy person. And this book kind of brought me straight back to that time. And I was not really enjoying it. So, yeah. So that is definitely a personal thing. But overall, I did really enjoy this book. I would recommend it if you're looking for a male-male romance around royalty and, with a heavy politics thing, then definitely check this out. Also, one other thing what really confused me in this book was, I get the gimmick of actually having the son of the US president and actually having the Prince of England having a thing, but especially with the whole Prince of England thing, I mean, I get that she can really actually use royal names in here. But to me, it was just confusing that his family were all made up people, but then his ancestors were all actually real people from our history. So the actual ancestor of the actual British family, that was just so confusing to me. What I really loved, like I said, even though I felt like like the middle section was too big, I did really love their emails back and forth. Yeah, I loved what they wrote to each other. It was so unbelievably adorable. I think I would recommend this to pretty much anybody because yes, there is sex in here, and there's actually pretty frequent mention of sex. The sex is not graphic at all. So, I mean, I guess that is a positive or negative depending on who you are. I tend to like my sex scenes to be graphic. So, yeah, my preference is maybe a little bit less, but then more graphic details, or more, but also graphic. Because I'm a horny bitch and that's what I like. So this was my first Casey McQuiston. I don't know if this was because of all the reasonings I just mentioned. The fact that I was confused about the whole history that was part of our world, and also the whole, yeah, so the fact that they were fake but kind of real. Like they were fake but their history is really tied to our world. That just made me kind of feel a little bit disconnected to these characters. Yeah, so I don't know if that is Casey McQuiston's writing style or if it's because of all the stuff I just mentioned. So I don't know about that. Definitely let me know if you felt a little bit similar to me reading Red, White, and Royal Blue, if I should read Casey's other book. Yeah, so overall I did enjoy it. Like I said, don't, like, I know I'm focusing a little bit on the negatives in this review, but overall I did enjoy it. Like I gave it 4 stars. I would recommend it. I could definitely see why people fell in love with this book, and it just made me more hyped for this movie, honestly. So I think in just 3 days, 3 or 4 days, this movie's coming out, and I am very, very excited about it. So if I have any more thoughts on this book, I guess I'll come back, and otherwise the next clip will be me reviewing the Red, White, and Royal Blue movie. Okay, so I'm here to review the Red, White, and Royal Blue movie. I absolutely adored it. I thought it was so cute. I thought it was, like, I thought Alex and Henry were so cute on screen. I just really loved it. I felt like Taylor and Nick, I can call him Nick, Nicholas, they were the perfect Alex and Henry, in my opinion. They portrayed them wonderfully. Every time Henry cried, I cried. Like, it was so good. Some of the scenes I really loved were the closet scene. That was one of my favorite scenes in the book, and I thought the movie I thought they did a wonderful job with that scene. All right, so I'm editing and I realized that I didn't specify what I meant with the closet scene. I meant the scene where they're at the hospital and they think a gun is going off, so they get dumped into this like closet type place, and basically they have a heart-to-heart, and Henry asks Alex why he hates him so much. That scene was adorable. In fact, that is the only scene that I actually filmed a reaction for, which I'll leave that clip after this one. So yeah, that is definitely my favorite scene of this movie. Oh my god, guys. So I'm currently watching the Red, White, and Royal Blue movie, and the closet scene is everything I've ever wanted it to be. It was so adorable. Oh my god, I love them already. I love these people so much. This was so cute. And it made me kind of want to cry a little for poor little Henry. Anyway, that's an update for you. I really surprisingly loved the scenes with Alex and his mom. In the books, they were fine to me. It wasn't that I hated them, but I never really paid a whole lot of attention to them. Why is my ear looking so big? Let me just do that. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to those scenes, like I said, but in this movie, I thought the chemistry between Uma Thurman and Taylor, I forget his name, I can actually look that up, Taylor Zakhar Perez, were very, like, I thought they had amazing chemistry, and I loved all the scenes with them in Texas. Those were very cute as well. And what I also really liked, maybe I missed this in the book, but I kind of also like the fact that Henry explained to Alex that it's not just an obstacle for them to be together, that Henry's the prince and therefore he is not allowed to be gay. It's also the fact that Alex wants to go into politics. So, and Henry doesn't, like, if he had his own choice, he would want to be out of this public spotlight. Whereas if you go into politics, your whole life gets scrutinized. So that was a very good explanation for why that was also an obstacle. So overall, I did really love this movie. I thought it was the perfect length. Whereas you guys know in the book, I thought it was a little bit too long. And I had a feeling that some things were going to be condensed in this movie, which it was. There was a whole big plot line in the book of a family friend of the president, and mainly Alex's dad and Alex too. That plotline was cut out entirely. And also, they just simplified the story a little bit by having Alex's parents still be together, which I did like that choice. One thing that made me sad was that Alex's sister was not a part of this story at all in the movie. I get why for time purposes, but it still made me sad because I really did love that relationship. And I also really loved the whole dynamic of Henry having his sister and Alex having his sister that they were the closest to. Also, a scene in the trailer that they cut out, which makes me sad, is the whole cornetto scene. First of all, that is one of my favorite ice creams as well, Henry. But yeah, I don't know why they left that out, because I really wanted a little bit more of them having to interact, having to have forced proximity while they still don't like each other. That was one of the scenes I really loved in the book, where they have to, like, Alex has to stay at Henry's house, and then they both get up in the middle of the night and they both want like ice cream. They cut that out of the movie, and just made me sad, because that is one of the things I love with the whole hate to love forced proximity situations, when they have to interact or they come across each other when they still don't like each other. So yeah, that's just a nitpicky thing. But since it was in the trailer, it was sad that I didn't actually get to watch that in the movie. Yeah, also one thing I also found clunky, it was like a clever thing they did where they were talking to each other and you got to watch what Alex was doing. At the same time, you got to see what Henry was doing. I did like that part. But then there was this clip of them literally lying in bed together. And I don't know, I found that a little bit clunky. I didn't mind that scene, but I just wanted I just wanted it to be more clear that they were in separate bedrooms, like in a different part of the world. Because I wanted that was very clear in the books, because you actually got to read the emails that this was a very long distance relationship. Whereas in the movie, I felt like, yes, in the back of your mind, one of them lives in the US and the other one lives in the UK. But I think that scene where they were lying in bed together, except they were not lying in bed together. I think that scene in the beginning where they were talking on the phone, they could have done that in a little bit of a different way for us to actually show that they're not in the same room. Whereas in this scene, it looked like they were in actually the same room, even though they're not, except visually it looks like it. I don't know if I'm making any sense whatsoever at all. I do have to say, I watched a lot of the clips, and like some of my favorite scenes, I already saw the clips for. Henry telling Alex that he doesn't want him to fall in love with him, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Your Majesty. It's Your Royal Highness. How many times do I have to tell you that?" That was cute, but I already saw that. And the scene where Zara finds Henry in the literal closet, that I also already watched before, but it was like a hilarious scene. Also, I wanted more of the whole bodyguards, because that was also one of my favorite things in the books. Alex's relationship with his bodyguards. Now, I did like the scenes we got with the bodyguards, but I would have preferred more. But yeah, all in all, I did really love this movie. I would highly recommend it. I think it's an important movie. I think people growing up now have a lot more books, TV shows, movies that they can identify themselves with, more than I did when I was growing up, for example. So I think that's very important. And I really did think they did a great job with this movie. I do think overall it's still a little bit too much politics for my taste, but it was less than in the book. So that is a good thing, I guess. I think those are my overall thoughts. I'm thinking if I have anything else to add. Oh yeah, one thing, once again, just a nitpicky thing. So we didn't get to see Alex's mom or Henry's mom at all. Whereas I did like her role in the book. So I'm wondering, was that also just for time saving purposes? And I'm very interested. I don't know if we'll get the answer to that. And if we do, if we already have that answer, definitely leave that in the comments. I'm interested to see why they changed Henry, like the monarch of the Britain, why they changed it from a woman to a man. So it's like in the book she's a queen, and in the movie he's a king. Why is that? I mean, at the end of the day, it shouldn't really matter. I'm just interested in that choice. I like, obviously Stephen Fry is a very famous like and good actor. Maybe that's why, but or maybe it was because they didn't want it to be that closely connected to the actual royal family, because they also changed his last names. I'm pretty sure, because those are not his last names in the book. So yeah, anyway, now for my comparisons. I told you guys I had a feeling I was gonna love this movie more than I did the book. I don't know if that is necessarily true, because I feel the same way a little bit about them, but I do know that I'll definitely rewatch this movie, whereas I'm not sure if I'll reread this book. And if I will reread it, I know that I'm definitely gonna be skipping a lot of scenes in the book. So is that really a reread then? I don't know. Yeah, I can definitely see myself rewatching this movie again. While I was watching it, I was already rewatching certain scenes. I think I'm done babbling for now. I would really love to know your thoughts on this movie and your thoughts on the book. And did you feel like they did a good book to movie adaptation? Because I definitely did. I thought they did a wonderful job with this adaptation. Although I do have to say, with contemporary romances, it's not really that hard. Like, you do have to do a terribly awful job to ruin a book to movie adaptation like that. It's much harder to do a book to movie adaptation for fantasy books. So I would really, like I said, love to know your thoughts on this movie and your thoughts on this book. I would love to know all your opinions. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.